What's up, guys? I reached out to you on Instagram and asked, what do you want to know? Ask me anything. From tricking to personal life, I want to answer as many questions as I can. So let's get right into it. Right now, my favorite tricking combo is this one right here. A cartwheel to a double full hyperhook, to an inside sweep, to a Viking sweep, because you do a front sweep right into your rise. And then I do a vanish cheat 900 into a redirected coin drop, then a master scoot to a double cork to that Superman or ninja stance. I absolutely love this combo, and it is definitely hard to do because it just has so many high-level tricks back to back. Matthew, if you want to prevent getting injured, my best advice would be to train within your skill set. If you are scared, afraid, and you've never done a cork before, you shouldn't go out into the grass and try it. Rather, you should start with your fundamentals, like the macaco, and slowly work up to the cheat gainer, and then progress to the cork. If you stay within your skill set and train at a moderate pace, you are far less likely to get injured. I started tricking in the year 2012, so I've been tricking for about 8 years, give or take. That said, I had a lifetime of movement before that. I had 8 years of Taekwondo already under my belt, and my parents taught me a ton of gymnastics fundamentals. So I had a really strong background going into the sport, but that said, I started tricking in 2012, so it's been about 8 years. 100% sharp kicks are taught and learned, not natural. Throwing a clean, sharp tornado kick does not come naturally to any individual person. It is a weird trick, and it's weird to throw with extremely aesthetic, clean, sharp technique. So I wouldn't say anybody is really a natural at it. Really, everybody who I've seen who has good, clean, sharp kicks has put in the work and the time and the training to achieve them. Honestly, I don't think there's any one real key to getting a nice high hook when you do a jackknife. Really, it's a combination of a ton of factors. 1, do you have a nice, high, flexible hook on the ground? 2, are you getting a ton of vertical lift from your tornado kick or 540 setup, so that way you're in the air when you perform the hook kick for the jackknife? And 3, are you just doing the trick well and clean? If the trick isn't really clean or good, the kick is not going to be high. You need good technique, a strong tornado kick set, and just a good flexible hook kick. If you have all of that, you should have a nice high hook when you do the jackknife. I much prefer the touchdown rise, but that's not to say the Gumby isn't good. Often athletes will really have a preference between one or the other. Either they really like having 2 hands down for their Gumby, or they prefer the one with the touchdown rise. I like the touchdown rise, but honestly, everybody is different. When it comes to making my tricks look clean, there are a few things that I really focus on. One is minimizing excess body positions. If my body is just moving the whole time I'm doing the trick, I'm not going to be able to stick that nice clean figure 4 at the apex of my cork, or whatever else I'm trying to do. One of the other things that helps me be clean is conditioning and flexibility. My body is strong and bendy, so that means I'm able to move it however I need to execute a clean trick. And the last thing that really makes it easy for me is my knowledge of fundamentals. I mostly train basics and fundamentals, so they are refined, crisp, and clean, because I'm not just YOLOing it and throwing my body on really hard tricks I don't understand. Rather, I really focus on what I know and what I can do and refining it, correcting it to make it as good as it can be. My biggest tip if you're teaching someone else tricking is to take it easy. When someone is first introduced to the sport, they don't want to learn tricks like the cork. If they try them, they're likely to hurt themselves. Rather, if you're teaching someone how to trick, start with the fundamentals: round kick, hook kick, tornado kick, jumping front kick. And then after you learn those and you're able to combo them effectively, then can you start scaling up to the harder, risky, more difficult tricks. The big thing that keeps people from this sport is they start and they get hurt. So if you guys can prevent that by starting with fundamentals, that is definitely the best tip I have if you are teaching tricking. I really like this question, and it speaks to a good mindset. You can train tricking every day, but you have to train within your skill set and the basics. If every day you're trying to go into your backyard and throw triple cork, you're not going to be able to trick every day. But if you're focusing on macaco, butterfly kick, tornado kick, 540, and other skills that are very easy for you and maybe reachable within your skill set, then yes, you can train every day. But if you're putting your body at risk and really trying to progress, I'd recommend maybe training 2 to 5 times a week, depending on your athleticism, your skill set, and how hard you're training when you go to your tricking session. Chances are your hips hurt while you're stretching because you're stretching. Whenever you do a stretch, you should feel a mild pain and maybe a little bit of discomfort. Now, if that turns into searing, sharp, aggressive pain, yes, you're going too far. But when you stretch, it's probably not gonna feel good if you're extremely tight. So if you're tight and you're stretching and your hips hurt, that might not be a bad thing. That might mean you need to keep stretching to make your hips more flexible, because tight hips do hurt and they're not good for your body. So if you go through the pain and the little bit of discomfort that comes with stretching them to make them more loose, your whole body will benefit. Your kicks will be cleaner and all your tricks will be easier because you will be more flexible and better able to move your body. I wouldn't say it's necessary to have the double cork before learning the Shuriken cutter, but it's definitely gonna help. Whenever you learn the super advanced moves in tricking, like the Shuriken cutter or the triple or even the double cork, you need to be super careful and understand that the more you know before going into it, the better. You could, if you are extremely talented and just very self-aware, do the Shuriken cutter on your first attempt without learning any other trick. But chances are you're gonna hurt yourself. So rather, what I would recommend is collect every trick you can along the entire progression chain, before or even after the Shuriken cutter, because that will help build the muscles and the awareness to then do the trick cleanly and consistently. You should learn your macaco, your cheat gainer, your cork, your Shuriken cork, your cork hyperhook, maybe even your cork swipe, and maybe a few other cork variations, before then going into the Shuriken cutter and the double cork, triple cork, and any of the other variations thereof. What I'd recommend is start at the bottom, the very base of the skill tree, and then start collecting tricks until you feel comfortable and confident enough to throw your goal trick, which in this case is the Shuriken cutter. Very demanding and very injury prone. So approach this trick with caution and try and learn as much as you can before you attempt it. Most definitely. I'm so sorry to hear about your knee. I myself have had a number of injuries. I trained on a broken wrist for 3 years. I tore my ACL and meniscus. I fractured my hip, but you can recover and you can come back to tricking. But invest the time in your recovery. wait until you can come back stronger, and then get back into tricking. You can overcome and get better after any injury, but you do need to be patient and take the time to heal. Trust me though, you can recover and you can get back to tricking. Thank you guys so much for watching, and a special thank you to everybody who sent in their questions. If you guys want to go deeper with mastering tricking and get all of your questions answered, consider becoming a patron. For just $1 a month or more if you can afford it, you get direct access to me along with a ton of other rewards. But thank you again and have a lovely day.